If you've been looking for some fun and creative inspiration for your own book's A+ content over on Amazon, then this video is an absolute must-watch. Hi there, I'm Eevi, an award-winning children's author and ghostwriter over on eevijones.com and the creator of Children's Book University. I create videos specifically for children's authors, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. In one of my recent videos, I talked about the 8 most common mistakes we as children's authors make on our book's sales page over on Amazon and how to fix them quickly and easily. I will make sure to share the link in the description below. One of these mistakes, one of the biggest mistakes I mentioned, was not to add any A+ content. A+ content is the additional information we as authors can share in our books from the publisher section. This is where we can add fun visuals and additional information about our book. I have a whole separate video on where to go to set this up, when to set it up, as well as all the steps on how to set it up. I will make sure to share the link to that video in the description below. Now, to help you make the implementation of this optimizing step even easier, I wanted to share lots and lots of fun ideas with you on what we can add to our book's A+ content section. I always look for ideas and I analyze everything I see within the traditional publishing world because I know that they have done their homework and that they know what is and isn't working. And so we as children's authors can use this knowledge to our advantage and emulate that. Now, before jumping into our examples, I wanted to share 5 ninja tips of mine for our A+ content. Ninja tip number 1 is to remember that adding this additional information and these additional images is absolutely free, which makes this so great. It essentially gives us an additional opportunity to share more about our book beyond just our regular description and our cover image. So we will want to use it wisely and intentionally, highlighting all the best and most important features we think will be relevant to our book's ideal readers. So intentionality here is key. Ninja tip number 2 is to remember that we can change our A+ content anytime, just like we can change our keywords and categories anytime as well. And so we will want to take advantage of this. What do I mean? Well, here we want to keep our seasons or any current events in mind. For example, if we have Christmas coming up, perhaps we can add some Christmas elements to our images, or we can share why this would be such a great Christmas gift. Or if we have summer coming up, we can incorporate summer break elements into our images. Rotating our A+ content this way is such a wonderful and unique way to set our book apart from others, while at the same time making it really timely and current, without having to really change anything else about our book. And the beauty is that KDP saves all our A+ content. So if we were to create Christmas-related A+ content, for example, we can reuse it over and over again each year. Ninja tip number 3 is to know that we don't need any new or additional illustrations for our A+ content because we can simply reuse those from our story, which again makes this an absolutely free way to share a bit more about our beautiful book. Ninja tip number 4 is to know that our From the Publisher section can be as long or as short as we want it to be. We are able to add different image sizes as well as different text blocks called modules. And so our possibilities here are truly endless because we can mix and match these modules to our heart's content. And so to help you with this ideal image size for each of these different modules, I've put together a cheat sheet for you and added the link to it in the description below. So if you're planning to create your A+ content, and I hope you do, make sure you're using this to help you with the ideal image sizing. And ninja tip number 5 is to know that while our A+ content will have to be approved before it appears on our sales page, KDP is very accommodating to our creativity here. That being said, there are 2 things that are not allowed in these images. 1, sharing of external URLs, and understandably so, right? Amazon wouldn't want potential buyers to click away from their own site. And 2, we will want to stay away from things that don't really have anything to do with our book or us, the author. So each A+ module should be relevant to us and our book. These are my 5 biggest ninja tips when it comes to our A+ content. So let's now dive into some fun examples. As I shared before, we don't need any new or additional illustrations for our A+ content, and that's because we can simply reuse some of our illustrations from our story. So example number 1 is to simply reuse the elements from our cover, meaning we can reuse the illustration from our cover as well as the title lettering. What Should Darla Do by Adair and Gannet Levy is such a great example here, where the publishers did exactly that. They took the cover's spot illustration, placed the title next to it, and then added some fun and descriptive adjectives below. It's so simple yet so powerful. And we see the same on the Little Blue Truck sales page as well. Here they used the exact same spot illustration that we can see on the cover, placed the title in the same font right next to it, and added a simple colorful background. If our cover sleeve, meaning the back of our cover, the spine, and the front cover, is one continuous illustration, then why not showcase that in our A+ content? One of my favorite examples here is from Katie Hudson's beautiful book, Too Many Carrots. Many readers may miss that the art of the front and the back covers should be viewed side by side, so adding it to our A+ content is such a fantastic way to showcase what we may have missed otherwise. Example number 2 is to reuse an illustration from the inside of our beautiful book. Ali Shirtley's book, Little Blue Truck and Racer Red, is such a sweet example here, where they simply took an illustration from inside the book, enlarged it, and used it as a background of their A+ image, along with a mock-up of the book. If we have lists or fun and interactive visuals inside our book, then that's something we can showcase here as well. Kristen Bell and Benjamin Hart's book, The World Needs More Purple Schools, is a great example here, where they are sharing a list from inside the book in their A+ content section. It's such a great visual, while at the same time letting us buyers know more about the book. Example number 3 is to pair our illustrations with text that is intentional and strategic. There is so much we can do here. Suzanne Lang's book Grumpy Monkey, for example, pairs an inside illustration with one big statement directly from the book. We are all a little grumpy. So if our book has a bold and maybe even a little controversial statement, then we might want to add that to our A+ content. My Mouth is a Volcano by Julia Cook is another great example here, where one image showcases a bold statement or problem we find in the book. Sometimes Louis has such a hard time holding his words in. And a second image right below it shares the main teaching point or solution to that problem. My Mouth is a Volcano teaches children how to manage their thoughts and words without interrupting. So in just 2 fun and bright images, we can showcase and communicate the problem and the solution to potential buyers. The A+ content section of the book, The Girl Who Never Made Mistakes by Mark Pett and Gary Rubenstein, does something similar by mentioning what this book will help little readers do or accomplish. It reads, shows the importance of resiliency and helps perfectionist kids keep things in perspective. So what is our book's teaching point? What does our book help little ones realize or accomplish? That's what we should showcase here. Another fun way to share our book's teaching point is to do so in a panel style that reads like a comic strip. Jimmy Kimmel's A section for his book, The Series Goose, is such a clever and fun example here. It really showcases and exemplifies the character and vibe of the actual book. And it informs readers about the fact that all the proceeds of this book are donated for a good cause. So again, this A+ content was used very strategically and with lots of intention. Another way to pair our illustrations with text that is intentional and strategic is to combine it with our editorial reviews we may have received. Corey Dorfeld's book, The Rabbit That Listened, for example, showcases a review it received from Publishers Weekly. And John Klassen's book, I Want My Hat Back, shares an editorial review from the New York Times. Editorial reviews are such a fantastic credibility marker, so we will want to make sure to share them in our A+ content. There are so many amazing opportunities to receive really powerful editorial reviews and reviews from influencers that are relevant to our book. And so if you need any help with receiving these types of reviews for your own book, I have a whole masterclass on that called Influencer Outreach, and I went ahead and shared the link to it in the description below. Of course, this is also a great way to showcase and highlight regular reviews here. So if our book has received an especially touching or heartfelt review in our regular review section, we could absolutely showcase it here among our A+ content as well. If our book has won awards or has become a bestseller, then that's yet another credential we would want to share here with potential buyers. Pick the Puck is such a fun example here, informing readers that this book was created by #1 New York Times bestselling author Aaron Blabey. And the credentials in the Little Blue Trucks A+ content section share something similar about Elise Shirtley's accomplishments as well, stating that this book is part of a #1 New York Times bestselling series and that 19 million books have been sold. Sharing our credentials this way is so powerful. So whether that's our author credentials or our book credentials, news coverage, starred reviews, emblem of the one award, that's all something absolutely worth displaying here. Another excellent way to pair our illustrations with text that is intentional and strategic is to mention who our book's target audience is. Here our target audience could be defined and described in so many different ways, whether that's by mentioning the ideal age group, grade level, occasion, or theme-specific audiences like garbage truck enthusiasts or cat lovers. The possibilities are endless. That's important information to know, right? So why not tie it into our visual elements here as well? Junie B. Jones by Barbara Park is a great example here, describing the target audience with the sentence, "Laugh yourself silly from kindergarten to first grade." And I Wish You More by Amy Krauss Rosenthal and Tom Lichtenheld is another great example here, sharing with potential buyers all the special occasions this book would be perfect for by stating, "The perfect gift for graduation, baby showers, birthdays, and many more joyous occasions." And they combined this with a mock-up cover image along with some simple background. If you would like to create your own book mock-up like this, make sure you check out my book mock-up templates. I made sure to share those in the description below. That way you can create them over and over again without a subscription that we find among so many different websites. Another beautiful example of using text strategically is to make it personal, where we as the authors speak to our potential buyers. Solway by Lupita Nyong'o does exactly that by sharing why the author wrote this book. I wrote Solway to encourage children and everyone really to love the skin they are in and see the beauty that radiates from within. So why did you write your book? Maybe that's something you'd like to share here as well. And this example is visually fascinating as well because it is one large image broken up into two separate panels, which is so creative. A+ content is such a fantastic marketing tool, and that's because we can go beyond just our book. And so example number 4 is to showcase what else we as authors may have created. For example, if our book is part of a series, then we will want to make sure to share that in our A+ section. Each book within the Little Blue Truck series, for example, shares this image in their A+ section right here, showing all the other covers of this series. Here, my additional ninja tip would be to update this image every time we are publishing a new book in that series, because again, this is such a great way to cross-promote our other books for absolutely free. Jeff Kinney does this in his books A+ section as well, showcasing all the books in his Diary of the Wimpy Kid series. But we can also apply this cross-promotion outside our series that our book is part of. What do I mean? Becky Cummings is a great example here, where one of her A+ images shares her original, The Magic of Me series, but then also introduces potential buyers to her new series, Critter Compassion. And even if our book isn't part of a series, we can still make use of this cross-promotion if we have more than just one book. For example, Margaret Wise Brown, the author of Goodnight Moon, shares her other books in the A+ content section of her Goodnight Moon book. This is very intentional and strategic since lots and lots of people visit the Goodnight Moon sales page, right? And they may not necessarily know about this author's other books. But let's get even more creative. Example number 5 is to showcase any additional materials we have created besides our book or for our book. In one of my videos, I shared so many ideas on what extras we could be putting together for our book, whether that's worksheets, puzzles, coloring pages, or games. And so our A+ section is the perfect place to showcase and advertise that. Andrea Beatty's sales page of her questionnaires books are a great example here, where we see these activity books in her A+ content. So we will want to display any accompanying materials we may have created, including coloring books, workbooks, or activity books. Those can be things that can be purchased separately on Amazon, or these could also simply be things that are downloadable pages for everyone who has purchased our book. Mary Pope Osborne is another fantastic example here because her Magic Treehouse series has expanded to so much more, including fact trackers, and graphic novels. And that's what she is sharing on her sales page. Example number 6 is to share more about ourselves. Amazon already has a regular About the Author section on our sales page, but it's so far down and really so tiny and often gets lost in all the scrolling. As children's authors, we can use our A+ content to let our personality shine through and set ourselves apart from other genres. Not many authors do this, and it's really just such a lost opportunity to sprinkle in a bit more personality here. So this right here is an image I like to share in some of my books A+ section. I always make sure I'm using the same font that I used in any of the other images I may have created for that same A+ section. That way it looks consistent and cohesive throughout the different modules. And I just love having fun with my author image here. And finally, the last example is example number 7, where we can highlight or showcase our imprint, especially if this is something we are trying to grow. Flashlight Press is a great example here, where one of their A+ modules showcases their imprint's logo as well as the main focus of the books they are publishing. I love looking through a book's A+ section, and it's often the deciding factor when it comes to whether or not I purchase a book, especially if I don't really know the author yet. As children's authors, it's so important to be strategic when it comes to the marketing of our beautiful book. And so hopefully this video has planted some creative seeds so that you too can take full advantage of this section. Intentionality is key. Knowing why we do what we do is key. And so is implementation. I really cannot wait to see what you're about to create for your own A+ section. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really encourages me to keep making free videos for you just like this one. Here's to being strategic. Bye!